You are never going to be rich. And here's why. Big houses, supercars, exotic locations, beautiful women. To most, it sounds like a land of fairy tale, assigned to only the select few who are chosen to pursue it. But the truth is that it's accessible to literally anyone. Especially in today's day and age, it's pretty much accessible right from your phone, where you can make six figures just from a little machine in your pocket. So why is it in a day and age where everything seems to be accessible that only a select few still climb to the top and the rest of the 99% remain the same? Now, this isn't meant to come off as rude or insensitive, but 99% of the time that people don't reach their goals is because of limiting beliefs they've established about the world that surrounds them. Now, these are either beliefs that they've come to conclusion by themselves or that have been impounded to them by society. Surrounded with social programming that teaches them that these things are only possible in movies, and definitely not possible for a normal person like themselves. So what do? They give it up. They chalk it up to fantasy. That's not possible. Why would it be possible, right? It's hard to do. It's impossible to do. You have to be very, very lucky in order to get anything like that. You have to be very, very lucky in order to achieve a status and successful stature like that, right? So they give it up in the name of security. They sign their lives away to big corporations and accept checks like good little girls and boys. This breeds a life of complacency, another cog in the machine designed to forget their ambitions and their individuality, until one day they realize that they've accomplished nothing that they wanted to ever do.
Failure!
They didn't go skydiving. They didn't run that marathon. They didn't start that business. They did nothing that they wanted to do. So what's holding you back? So first and foremost, you're unwilling to invest your time and your money into yourself. And instead you invest into low ROI activities and low ROI people. Now ROI, that means return on investment. The bang for your buck, basically. How much you're getting for which you invest, right? With money, most people don't want to spend $9 a week on an e-commerce Discord or a networking Discord or to learn how to get a sales job. They don't want to spend $9 a week, but they're more than happy spending that much daily just on coffee. People don't want to spend $1,000 on a course or to start up their new business, but they're more than happy spending $1,000 on the new iPhone. If you're not willing to invest into yourself, you're not going to go anywhere. And that's just the hard truth. The truth is that entrepreneurship is an extremely lifelong journey. And if you're not even willing to invest in yourself, then how can you expect to grow a business? Have you ever heard that you're only as strong as your weakest link? Well, when it comes to entrepreneurship, you're both your strongest and your weakest link. So if you're unwilling to learn anything, then you're not going to progress at all whatsoever. You can sit there and, buy the latest iPhone, buy some new Balenciaga, and hope that you'll make more money. Maybe you'll work more hours at your job. But you as a person are not progressing whatsoever. So that's why it's important to determine where your priorities are with your money. Now, that doesn't mean you can't buy things you like. That's perfectly acceptable. Go out and buy an Apple Watch if you did really good. But it's important to invest in yourself as well and not just throw all of your money towards these materialistic things that are going to get you nowhere. If that's all that your money goes to, you're going to be in the exact same position 10 years down the line. Now, the same thing goes for your time. We talked about money, but what about time? Low ROI activities are the worst things that you can do with your time. At the end of the day, time is money. We've all heard that, and it's a fact. Your time is worth as much as you make. If you make $1 billion, your time is going to be worth a lot. So where are you investing your time? Are you coming home from work after a long day at work and working 2 hours on your business before hitting the gym? Or are you coming home from work and scrolling for 2 hours on TikTok before you finally get tired and you leave to get a snack? And while you're eating that snack, you're scrolling on Twitter. Are you constantly consuming or are you producing? Where are you investing your time? It's important to take a look at that just as much as where you're spending what's in your wallet. On the weekends, do you bar hop with your friends or do you stay at home and recognize that it's the time to get ahead? Now, guys, like I said, this doesn't mean that you can't go out and have fun, but it's important to understand where you're actually putting your resources. Maybe you've thought about starting a business, but haven't taken the leap because it's too risky or it's not the right time or you don't know where to start yet. Which leads me into my next point, limiting beliefs. These are beliefs that you've accepted as truth when they're anything but. Now, these are beliefs that are established when we're really young or have been compounded into us by society. You can't be anything without a college education. That is a limiting belief. You're not smart enough to start out this business. That is a limiting belief, right? Now, this is totally normal. Everyone struggles with this, including myself, right? But it's what you do about those limiting beliefs that actually makes the difference. So I want you to grab a piece of paper, write down every limiting belief that's holding you back. It can be anything. It can be, I'm not smart enough to start this business. I'm not smart enough to learn this language. I don't have enough money to do this. I'm not good enough to do that. Start writing down each and every single one of your limiting beliefs. So then when you look at that piece of paper, you can break down each and every single one of them. My personal one, I don't feel like I'm smart enough. to start a business. I don't feel like I'm smart enough to make it. That is a limiting belief. It is not true. I know I'm smart. Like, it's completely fine. But where does it come from? Where does that limiting belief come from? That's what you need to take a look at. For me, it's from back in childhood. I say some stupid stuff sometimes. Like, I say some really stupid stuff. And it's because I'm not afraid to ask questions. And over time, the reactions to the stupid stuff that I ask has grown as an insecurity within myself because it garners bad reactions from other people. So I keep my questions to myself, and it's become internalized to where I don't feel smart enough to do my work. But it's not true. It's not true. So once you guys have those written down, begin breaking each and every single one of them down and find where it started. Now, some people are just afraid of failure, but let me tell you right now that failure does not exist. This is another thing that is holding people back. It's the fear of failure. Failure literally does not exist. Failure is only when you give up. That's the only time you can fail. Because statistically, it's a numbers game. It's not even like this is a motivational speech or anything like that. Failure is a numbers game. Like success is a numbers game. You're gonna fail a lot of times. You're gonna have a lot of defeats. But if you don't give up, then you've never technically failed. You just had a little bit of a setback, a temporary defeat, and you're still marching on. That's the case. Because eventually something is going to click and you will be fine. Besides, it's the 21st century. You know, some people are afraid that like, oh, their parents aren't going to be very happy with them if they don't succeed, or all these ideas of society that are holding them back. It's the 21st century. Back when humans were cavemen, we used to stay in packs. We used to hunt in packs, right? And so it was extremely detrimental if you were outcasted from that pack, because it basically meant 100% death, right? You do not want to be socially outcasted. But this is the 21st century now. You know, I mean, we still have this primal need embedded in us, basically, but it's not true. We don't need that anymore. So it's important to recognize where all of this stuff is coming from and how much you've actually internalized. Now, guys, it's uncomfortable starting a business. It's uncomfortable improving yourself. But what we'll find is that on the other side of that fear, on the other side of that discomfort, oftentimes lies the greatest things in life. Going out and meeting new people, not fun. Very uncomfortable for most of people, but on the other side of that leaves lifelong friends potentially, right? Now, fear is something that we've 100% conjured up in our mind, and society perpetuates that fear to keep us from living. It's 100% holding you back. The only person holding you back is literally yourself. Now, getting rich is extremely simple, guys. Yes, I said extremely simple, but it is not easy. And the fact is, most people aren't willing to give up comfort, certainty, and safety of the lives that they've crafted around themselves. They're not willing to give up a false sense of safety. And yes, I said a false sense of safety. Society will lull you into thinking, oh, you need to get a safe and secure job. There is no such thing as a safe and secure job. There's no such thing. The cough virus pretty much proved that. Nobody is safe. In 2020, we saw hundreds and thousands of people losing their jobs that were considered quote unquote safe. We're even seeing it now in our economic downturn. We're seeing people lose their jobs. Guys, there's no such thing as a safe and secure job, and don't let anyone tell you that there is. Now, there is some exception to what I'm saying. If you have a family, it's incredibly important that you prioritize that family. Don't go out and spend money on stupid stuff and take risky adventures just because I'm telling you to. I'm 19, you know? Your family always comes first. If you have a good life, if you have a paycheck, always prioritize your family and make sure they are taken care of first. But like I said, it's getting proven more and more that people are losing their safe and their secure jobs. There is no such thing, guys. The question is, who's programming this into you? Or what in your environment is holding you back? This is when it comes time to look at who you surround yourself with. We talked about low ROI activities for time and money, but what about low ROI people? There are lots of people that have really great ideas and really bright minds, but they're just surrounded with the wrong social circle. And guys, let me tell you that if you're surrounded with the wrong social circle, it doesn't matter how smart, how bright, how talented you are, it will slowly creep up and infect you, and you will never see it coming. Now, these people surround themselves with losers. These guys don't want to see anybody else succeed. So when you start to succeed, guess what? They're going to go behind your back. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see something that they know is within themselves, and they see you doing it, but they're too afraid to do it. So they spend their time wasting time playing video games, going out all the time, doing drugs, and they don't want to see anybody garner the success that they wish they had for themselves. So they talk them out of it. When they see someone with potential, they feel threatened. So it's important to surround yourself with a group of people who are like-minded, people who are growth-oriented and who will help you reach your goals. The truth is, like I said, guys, it doesn't matter how good of a person you are, because if you're around the worst social circle, if you're around people who are negative all the time, it will slowly infect you until you're anything but that. Now, finally, the accumulation of those topics that I just covered can be lumped into two categories. The first being the producer mindset, and the second being the consumer mindset. Let's cover them both real quick. Now, the producers are the 1%, focusing on building, creating, innovating. right? And the consumers are the rest of the 99% focused on consuming, whether that's food, social media, whatever it is. Now, let me put this into perspective with you with TikTok, for example. Now, the 99%, the consumer. Now, they might spend 2 to 3 hours a day scrolling on TikTok, and what do they get out of it? Nothing. And when that finally drains them of all their energy, when they finally get tired, they'll turn on a show, grab a snack, consume, just so they can recharge and go back to doing TikTok again. Cool. Now, the producer, aka the 1%, might spend 2 to 3 hours a day planning, writing, editing, creating different TikToks, and studying the algorithm because they know they can use it to build a personal brand on the platform. Now, what do they get out of it? They get a platform that they can leverage to grow their personal brand. They can monetize it. They can make money off of it. They can get brand deals, sponsorships. They recognize the opportunity that lies right in front of them, and rather than consuming, they choose to produce it. Now, the producers produce what the consumers consume, if that makes sense. Now, there are hundreds of thousands of examples that I can provide with this, but it's important to remember that I'm not coming after anybody. These are just things that you have to look at within yourself and ask yourself, am I guilty of this? So it's important to honestly ask yourself, are you a producer or consumer? Now, I know I've just given you a lot of information. Go back and rewatch it if you have to, but it's imperative that if you're serious about actually growing yourself, starting a business, that you take all of these points into consideration and seriously reflect upon how you've been living. Don't wait for New Year's. Start today. Break down everything and analyze. Only when you do will you be faced with the truth, and when you know the truth, then you can take action. So now, with that being said, I have to ask, what's holding you back? With that being said, guys, that will be the end of today's video. If you guys enjoyed this, be sure to leave it a like for the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to see more content from me, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss another upload. And I will see you guys later.